A very good evening to everyone on the webinar. Uh, Myself, Amar Singh, and I'll be talking about the Angel Advanced Charting Software. Uh, what I see is that this software which we have is very well positioned to be used both from a short-term perspective, intraday perspective, as well as a long-term perspective, so that you can have your own understanding of the markets. So my attempt in this webinar would be to help all of you understand this Angel Advanced Charting software better so that you can use it, and what are the benefits of it, how you can use it. So I will start with the basics, and then I will talk about the advanced levels also, what you can do in this application. First of all, if we look at this, I will just go and I will draw a new chart here, and let it be a daily chart, and we will say, for example, take Nifty. We'll take Nifty, and we have this daily chart of Nifty. So it is comparatively very simple. You can scroll it. You can. This is a daily chart. If you just press a W, you get a weekly chart, and if you do a M, you get a monthly chart. If you do a Q, you get a quarterly chart. If you do a Y, you get a yearly chart. And you can see that the beauty of this is that you have this scroll window also. So you can see that for Nifty, you are having data from almost December 1997. So we are talking 20 years of data that you have. So see, likewise for stocks also, if we look at any stock, you can do a right click and you can go change script. You can change the script. Say for example, we will take a script as Reliance, and we do a double click. So now we'll have this Reliance chart. You are seeing the Reliance chart here of it's a yearly. Again, you can see that the data is almost from 95. So the point here is, now I just do a D, so this becomes a daily chart. I do a W, it becomes a weekly chart. I do a M, it becomes a monthly chart. I do a Q, it becomes a quarterly chart. So you have at your disposal all the NSE stocks. NSE stocks are available in this, as well as the NSE FNO segment, the futures and options segment, that also you have. So if you're looking at the long-term trends, you can look at these charts. I will also plot some indicators, tell you how best you can use it, and what are the features which you can do. So right now, if you see, we have a candlestick patterns. This is, if I'm looking at a daily, I do a L, so this becomes a line chart, and if I do a B, so this becomes a bar chart. But generally, world over, earlier bar charts were used, but now primarily it's the J. You just press a J, so automatically this becomes a Japanese candlestick pattern. So we are around, and at the bottom right, you can see it is mentioned as DLY. That means that it's a daily chart. I do a W, it becomes a WKLY. That's a weekly chart. I press an M, so it becomes a monthly chart. So this is the beauty of this application, and you can see for yourself that it's very fast. When we had launched this application, there was initially some teething issues with regard to data, but the software has become very stable, and it can be used very well. And since we use different sorts of softwares, and we found this extremely good. I'll show you some of the capabilities also that this software has, which we don't find in any other software. So this is what is on the daily charts. So first I'll talk about the daily, and then we can look at the intraday charts as well, how you can plot that, what indicators are there. So we'll just take Nifty, and we'll do some, this is Reliance, for example. We take Reliance, and then we'll do some, we'll go and do some study and patterns. So you can see that it's very simple. You do a right click, and then you can go to study manager, and you can also do a S add. So you simply go there. You can type whatever indicator you want. So say for example, we want an average. So you have this average, you click on this average. Now it will ask you what you want, a daily, a weekly, monthly, quarterly, what average do you want? So right now we'll take one daily average. So the input line, let it be the close, because generally what happens is that most of the people who use the averages, they take the closing. Now, what type of average do you want? Do you want a simple average, exponential? There are different types of averages. So generally for short term, you should always use exponential averages. So if you're looking at from a short term perspective, the short term trend, then use ideally a 10 period exponential average. If you're even a 30-day exponential is good for a medium term trend, but long term trends, a 100-day moving average, a 200-day moving average, for that you can use your simple moving average. So now for since we are doing an exponential, so now we have chosen the exponential average here, and the average period here is 10 days, so we leave it as default. Then you can see that there are separate tabs. You have a studies tab, you have a parameters tab, you have a display tab. So in display tab, you see that there is something called the study width. So you can increase the width so that the moving average is more clear to you, and you can change the colors also. You can click on the color, so you can change the color. So we'll just make it, say for example, we'll make it yellow, and then we do an add. So now you can see that this is a daily chart where we have plotted a daily exponential moving average. You can also click on this average, and you can go to the display column and write, to make it easy for you, you can say put it's a daily and it's a exponential moving average. So you mention DEMA and you do a 10 and you do a modify. So now you'll find that at the top end it is clearly mentioned that it is DEMA 10, that is a daily moving average, which is an exponential of 10. So it's very simple. So we'll now just go and I'll take this only and I will keep on changing, so that will be even better for you. So now if you just look at the parameters here, what we find that the period is daily. Now I simply go and make this period as weekly. Rest everything remains the same, and I do a modify. So now see what has happened. On the daily chart, this is a daily chart which we are seeing, because if you can see at the bottom, you have the daily chart. But on this daily chart, you have a weekly 10 period exponential moving average plotted. So this gives you a very good, more or less, if you plot a 50-day moving average, it will give you similar. We'll just do that as well. We'll just plot that as well. We'll see how it works. So we'll do we'll take an average. So we'll do a daily close exponential and we'll do a 50 period average. So we go here and we let it be, we'll keep it green color, and here we'll make it as daily exponential daily exponential moving average 50. So and we do an add. So you'll find that more or less they are in sync. You can use this as well, but you can plot the weekly 10 period exponential also on this daily chart. So this is a beauty of this. Now we'll just go and I go to this and I change this from a weekly, I make it a monthly. The rest all remains the same. I will change the name because now it is not daily, it is monthly. So I do a M. So this is what a monthly exponential average of 10. So I do a modify. So now this becomes a monthly. So you can see for yourself where Nifty major took its support. And if I take this, so a monthly 10 period, what does it mean? Is that basically it's a 200-day moving average, because roughly there are 20 trading days in a month. So 20 multiplied by 10 is a 200-day moving average. So we now go and change this DEMA 50, we'll make it as 200. We go to display and we just change this name to 200 and we do a modify. So you're finding that more or less it is matching, but what we have seen is that if you use this exponential, the monthly exponential on a daily, that is even better. So this is one major advantage, and this is not only for a moving average. For other indicators also you can plot it. I will show that to you as well. So we will talk about that as well. But before that, I will just make some changes. So I'll go back to the daily and let this be a daily exponential moving average. I make it a 10. So now we are having a daily exponential moving average and a 200-day moving average. So you're finding that the market took support around its 200-day moving average. We just now make this 200-day as a 100-day moving average, because that's also very popular. So we go and see. So we find that more or less it was here. Now if we make it as not 100, we make it as 50. So you can find that more or less this is the way that the trend is up. So what you need to understand in moving averages is that it is the slope of the moving average that matters, and just looking at one moving average is not a good idea. You should look at the short term as well as the long term. The long term tells you that what is the overall trend of the market, and the short term basically tells you what is the right now the trend strength. If the trend is sloping up, the moving average is sloping up, that means that the overall trend is positive and strong. So any pullback you should use as a buying opportunity. Say for example, we'll now expand this here. So if you look at this part here, those who understand Japanese candlestick patterns, they will understand that this is what this is more or less a hammer formation in Japanese candlestick patterns. We'll just look at just 1 second. We can have a scale. You can do a linear. That's fine. So, so here you have a hammer formation, and the overall trend is positive. And then you have a strong day which closes above the 10-period moving average. So that means the possibility of a market going up is there. So you can place a stop, say for example, below this, and you can, because this is a strong support for Reliance. So you can see for yourself that the market gives you such opportunities. Again, you can see yourself for here where this is a moving average crossover between a 10-period and a 50-period moving average, and then you can see that the slope of the moving average is moving up. So in that case, and it has closed above it, and the highs are being breached, so there is a possibility of a rally. What you need to understand is that all patterns don't work all the time. So if the pattern doesn't work, or if the strategy doesn't work, then what you should do and get out of a losing trade. That also is very important. So before entering a trade only, you should have a fair idea as to what is your worst case scenario, or what you will do, so that you don't take a major hit on your overall capital. Because you need to understand one thing is that all the people who are in the market, who really trade and or invest and make money, they somewhere understand that there is risk involved in the market. So they then quantify their risk. What is comfortable for them to assume or take, that sort of risk they take, and then they build their positions. So this I showed you on some of the indicators in terms of candle patterns. I'll show a couple of more indicators. So what I'll do is I'll again do a right click and study patterns. I'll go and do add. So what we'll do here is we'll add, say for example, we'll add a stochastics. You can do an RSI also. We'll take stochastics, and there are, I would say, most of the popular indicators you'll find here. And my advice is that don't use too many indicators, because that leads to more confusion. Ideally, 3 to 4 indicators are fine. Maximum not more than 5. Maximum you should not be using more than 5, but 4 are sufficient. And you should also look at the market from a multi-time frame, meaning what the overall trend is on a weekly chart, on a daily chart. If you're investing, or even if you're trading, then what is the daily trend, what is the weekly trend? That really helps you understand the market, because you need to understand it is just like the waves and the ripples and the tides. So if the wave is in one direction, then you ideally should be moving in that direction only. So any pullback you should be used as a buying opportunity rather than a shorting opportunity, until unless you have a very valid reason to go short in that market. So now what we'll do is for the stochastics, we have the input line. We have so here we'll take a 14 period, because that's one, and we'll just keep everything as 1, so that we don't have any confusion. I go to display, and I just increase the width, so that you can study width. You increase it, so you'll be able to see it better. So I made it 3. So now you can see for yourself that this is a 14 period stochastic, and the lines are automatic. You have a 80 and 20, but I think you can change it as well. You can go to subgraph. Here you show overbought and oversold. So if some people use a 70-30, so they can do a 70-30. So these dotted lines which you find are 70 and 30. But generally, ideally, those who want to take a position, they look at 80-20 also. So we'll leave it as 80-20. So now you can see for yourself what is happening in Reliance is that overall Reliance is in a long-term trend. and here the markets have corrected, and then the markets have corrected, and see where the correction has come. It's in oversold zone, and also you can see that this is a hammer formation. Sorry, this is a hammer formation here, hammer formation for Reliance. So ideally, you can, once the high of this day is reached, you can buy with a stop loss below this. So these are some patterns you can definitely look at, and you can understand. Likewise, again, you see here what has happened, that the market has come in oversold territory. Overall trend is positive. It's taken more or less support at its 50-day moving average, and the high of this day is breached, and today the market has rallied from that perspective. So you get a, but generally what happens is that if you are buying at this level or some, so you can get caught. So you should wait for overall trend is positive, and then if the market comes in oversold region, but the overall trend is positive, so those are the best trades. If they are somewhere around support and resistance levels, they are even better. So and we'll add one more indicator. We'll take a MACD histogram. So we'll take the default values 12, 26, and 9, and we'll use this. You can use the 0 bar up and down, and we make it a higher width. And here you can see that the parameters I am using a daily. So what will happen is that I am getting a daily MACD histogram. So this is a 12, 26, and 9 MACD histogram plotted on a daily chart. Now I want to make it a weekly. So I simply go and what I do is I change the period to weekly. So now what I see is that this is a weekly MACD histogram which has been plotted on a daily chart. So what does it tell you? That the overall weekly trend is strong. So what it effectively means is that any pullback you should use as a buying opportunity. So so this is something which you can look at. This application gives you this feature which is not available that easily in other applications, and you can use it very well. Now what I will do is I have shown you all this. So you do a Control I, and then we go to an intraday chart. So we do a 15-minute chart. So we'll just wait for the data. So now what you see is a 15-minute chart of Reliance. So the beauty is just you see how long old data you are getting. You are getting historical data for Reliance intraday. So you can use it very well, and we have close to almost, this data is significantly almost 5 months, more than almost 4 months and higher. You have this data. So the beauty is that you can use the intraday data also. I'll just show you a couple of things here. Is that we'll do a right click and then go to add, and we'll do an MACD histogram. So now we'll do a daily MACD histogram here, and we do a 12, 26, and 9, and we do a 0 bar up and down, and we do an add. So now what you can see that this is a 15-minute chart, but the MACD histogram that we are seeing is a daily MACD histogram which is negative. So that means that the overall short-term trend is down. What we can do is we will just go and add another MACD histogram, but this time we'll add a weekly. We'll change the colors for better understanding. So just one sec. Weekly. This is not coming. No, weekly would not come because that would require too much of data. I think that is, you can have a daily on this, because weekly you'll have to look at the other way. So you can have it on a daily chart. But what we'll do is we'll just change this and make it intraday, and we'll have it a period of, say, for example, we'll do a it's a 15-minute chart, so 900 seconds. So we will go and do that. So we now have a, so what we are having in this is a Reliance is a 15-minute chart. The above MACD histogram is a daily histogram, and the other blue and this green is the 15-minute histogram. So you can look at this also, and this is something which is very good. You have something here. If you see, this is what a bullish divergence. Reliance is making new lows, but the histogram has turned positive. So you can find that somewhere or the other Reliance is taking support, and then from there Reliance has rallied. You see this consolidation, and then it was a rally. So you can use this. You can have other indicators. So we'll just plot one more here, and we'll add, say for example, uh, moving average. We'll add. So we'll do a daily moving average here of an exponential. We'll take it as 2 period, and so yeah. So now you can see that this is a 15-minute chart which we are seeing of Reliance, and in this case it has been trading below its exponential. So you can see here for yourself that these are strong levels of support here. Overall, Reliance has taken support, rallied again. Once it has reached this level, that is on the 2nd of May. From there, it has consistently fallen, but then again it has taken support and it has pulled back. So now you can see that today it has closed above this level. So if it trades higher, that means there is a possibility of a upside rally happening. So you can plot various indicators, and the best part is that if you have any query, you can always write to us, and we'll share the email ID at the end of the webinar, because we would want all of you to be independent and use not only these indicators which I am talking about, but other indicators as well. I'll just do a right click and show you the indicators. So if you look at this, we have got adaptive moving averages, we have ATRs, we have Bollinger Bands, then Keltner channels, then you have ADX is there, then you have RSI, you have Stochastics, Williams R, KST, MACD, then Super Trend, Heiken Ashi, Parabolic SAR, Swing, historical volatility, on balance, volume, open interest. So you have all these indicators which are there. Apart from that, you also have certain Japanese candlestick patterns also. So say for example, you just click on a few of these patterns. We just click them randomly. So if and wherever they form, they will, here you see that this is a pattern. So you just click on bring your mouse on here, it will show you this is a engulfing line bullish. So it's a bullish engulfing pattern. But you just have to not look at this, you'll also have to look at the overall trend. So what does it say? That the overall trend is down, so you need to be cautious. So we'll just do one more thing here. We'll study patterns. We'll just take these patterns and so I think you have, to a certain extent, I have covered what all indicators are there, how you can plot them. And believe me, I also didn't know anything about this application till the time I first started using it. But what we have done is that we have prepared a 3-page study guide for this application. So all those who are there on the webinar today, they will be mailed this 3-page sheet, which will help them get started. And believe me, if you really want to excel, and if you want to understand further and want to be to a certain extent have your own view of the market as well, so this can be a very good tool, and it is an excellent charting software. Real time, you have it for real time, as I said, and for end of day, if you want to study long-term charts, you have data spanning even 20 years in many cases. And this is valid for the NSE cash segment, NSE FNO, and the currency segment. So you have this available. So definitely you should use it. And if you want to remove any indicator, you simply do a right click, you go to study manager. You have the first one as study manager. You can select, say for example, I just want to remove all the indicators. I go and do a remove, so everything has been removed. You do a double click, so it comes here. So I will just show you, just one second, I'll just remove this. So here I have just, based on this only, this is what I've been talking about. I have made 2 charts. So you can plot four screens, also for specifically if you want. If you're trading intraday, what my suggestion and advice is, don't trade too many stocks. You can have a watch list. You can also make your own watch list. You can go and create your watch list, user defined watch list. You can and then select the stocks which you want. Here you have your price alerts. You can set your price alerts on the condition you have some. Then you have the chart settings. You can go and do your chart settings. So I would want that I would request that all of you should definitely go and explore. You have all the patterns here. If you just want to see the bullish, you just select them. You'll get the bullish patterns. Likewise, you have the bearish patterns. Then you have something called the tick query. So if you want to find stocks which are trading above a certain quantity or value above this, you can do and start it. So it'll and you can save the query also. You can set a group if you want CNX Nifty, CNX 100, whatever. You got all these indices which are there, and you can do. You can also have your user defined group. So these features are there. You can explore, and the more you explore, the better you will become at it. If you have any queries, definitely you should write to us, and you can be rest assured that you will get a reward from us within 24 to 48 hours. And the query, you get the results in this. Likewise, you have something called the market eye, wherein if you want to see here you can set the group. You can save this. So once you save it, you load it, so automatically it will get the results will start getting populated, and you do a track. So real time it will start getting tracked. Then you have your bullish and your bearish. So you can select all of them, save, and then you do a start track. So it will, once the markets are on, you'll be able to get this. So you can see for yourself. You have the yearly high. If it trades above the yearly high, if it trades above a certain resistance, so you can look at that. On the bearish side also, you have low of the day. If the low of the day is breached, if there is a gap down, if it is a yearly low, if it's breaking a major support, so you can use all this. And if you have, as I said, you have any queries, you can definitely write to us. We have something called the market tracker as well, which basically looks at the other charts. And you have settings, so automatically this gets downloaded, and you can use it. You have got almost, as I said, many indicators. What you see on the screen right now is you have the Nifty and the Bank Nifty. At the bottom corner, right hand corner, you will see that it's a 15-minute chart. But this is a 15-minute chart on which, if you see what is here, it is a 10 DEMA 10, DEMA 20, DEMA 30, and DEMA 50. So what it means is that this is a 15-minute chart, but I have plotted a daily 10-period exponential moving average, daily 20-period exponential average, daily 30-period exponential moving average, and daily 50-period moving exponential average. So the beauty is that if you do a Z, so automatically this gets you can say enlarged, and then you can move with your mouse, and you can find that, see where this market has earlier Nifty has taken support at its 30-day moving average. So you don't at least go short, and you are clear that the overall trend of the stock is positive. This I am showing from an intraday perspective. Those who are trading short term, they can use a 15-minute. You can also plot a 5-minute chart depending upon this. You can plot the same indicators on a 5-minute chart as well. So I just pressed Z, so automatically those charts are I would not say collapsed, but they have been reduced. So in this I have certain indicators. So you have a 15-minute chart, but a 60-minute MACD histogram, a daily MACD histogram, then the 30-minute stochastic. So what I'm trying to tell and show all of you here on the webinar is that this is an excellent software. If you haven't used it well, you should definitely use it. And just because we are giving it free, you should not assume that this is not worth. We are paying free, and anything is free. And if anything of attention to, we don't evaluate. But I hope through my webinar I have tried to explain to you the different features and how this can really help you, even from a trading perspective, and even from a investing or a long-term perspective. You can use it for yourself. You can also guide people around you, and at the same time your knowledge will enhance. And as I said, this is just the beginning. We'll conduct more such webinars going forward, and I would definitely request that feel free to write to us if you have any query. Then you should definitely write to us, and as I said, we will revert back. So, and the best part is you can also save this. Uh, you can save this if you want. You can do a right click. This I'll just tell you. You can go do a right click. You have here study and patterns, save study. So you don't just I'll show you, do a save study. So what will happen is uh, it will open a window. You can put a name to it, whatever your name or whatever you want to give, and save. So next time when you want to open, you simply do a right click, save, and load study. So automatically you can load your study. So you don't have. And the best part is that the way you close this application, next time when you reopen it, the chart will come as this. This is presently in Speed Pro. You have to get it enabled. All of you are there, so I think you would have got it enabled. So you can use it very well. And what we have seen, or what I have seen in particular, is that such sort of multi-time frame you don't really get that easily in other applications, because there you have to have more of programming. But here it is very easy. As I showed you, it's hardly a click of the button. So please use it, and feel free to ask your questions if you have any. We'll be more than happy to help you. And with this, we'll take questions now.